Have you ever been so impacted by something that it leaves no doubt as to what helped shape you? Welcome to the Blind Impact podcast, where we talk about and uncover those moments. Some funny, some sad, and some scary, but it's not always tragic. I hope you'll stay for a while.
Hello.
Hello.
Hey, Rolando. How
Hey,
how how are you?
good. It's good to hear your laugh.
Yeah. Still goofy me. Still goofy me. How you doing?
I am awesome.
Good. Are you able to hear me? Okay.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So, guys, this is the Blind Impact. Our guest today is Rolando, a really good friend of mine, a longtime friend. And Rolando, what do you want to share? Anything about yourself? Any accomplishments? Anything you may want to tell us about you?
Yeah. I worked in the retail industry for a long time.
Hmm.
And in 2016, I got out of it. And I started a business of my own. And was going good for a few months. Then I was in a very bad accident off of 45.
Okay.
Um, the guy had a flatbed truck and had 10 telephone poles, was doing 75 miles an hour, never put on his brakes, and I was at a dead stop when he ran into me.
Oh my goodness.
So when the people saw my vehicle, they thought I was dead inside. It, it was that bad. And you remember my black truck?
I do. I do.
It looked like an accordion.
No way.
Yes. And luckily, I had on my seatbelt and everything, but my bag didn't deploy. But it tore a bunch of muscles in my neck and in my back. And I was in very bad pain. It seemed like I had about 10 red hot ice picks just stabbing me everywhere through my back. But so I had just started a business and I had to give it up.
Oh my goodness.
And I didn't want to go back to retail. And I had a good friend of mine that I used to know that said, "Hey, why don't you move to Houston? Move in with me, and I'll help take care of you. Not financially or anything, but
Sure, just physically.
physically, because it would take me 45 minutes just to get out of bed.
Oh no.
Um, then when I laid in bed, I'd leave my front door unlocked because if somebody came by or knocked or whatever, it'd take me 45 minutes to get out of bed.
Jeez.
So my kids were there, but I didn't want to let them know how badly hurt I was. So my friend offered me that. I came down here. I met a chiropractor here named Dr. Syed. He was a young chiropractor, and he started helping me. He took X-rays and stuff and started helping me because the people that in Dallas that I was seeing weren't helping me very much.
Okay.
Well, he was getting me back to normal. All this stuff. He goes, "I'm going to put you through some pain, but I'm going to get you back the way you need to be." And he was a young chiropractor. He was 37 years old.
Hmm.
And I went to go see him one day, and I was telling him, um, I'm probably not going to be able to come and see you as often as I want to.
Mm-hmm.
Well, why? And I said, I just can't afford to keep paying you. I hate to
Sure.
say, um, but I have the priorities. He goes, I don't care about the money, Rolando. You come. He goes, I'm going to fix you. The money's not an issue. And
Wow.
yeah, me and him would get into some very deep conversations about God and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I go to see him on a Friday, and they said, well, he wasn't feeling good. So he went home. He was Middle Eastern.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, oh, that's fine. I said, I'll come back on Monday. And on Monday, they said, well, he's not here. I didn't understand when they meant he's not here. So I called back on Tuesday. They said on Friday, when he left home early, he had a massive heart attack and passed away. He had two sons that he left behind. So when they said he wasn't there, they meant he wasn't there. And, but he had gone so far with me, I was almost healed.
Wow.
But in our conversations that we had, he said he did that for me because when he was a kid, he was hit by a truck, and the doctors told him he'd never be able to walk again. And there was a chiropractor in Sri Lanka, where he was from, that would come every day and massage him and do the therapy with him and got him back to walking.
Wow.
He said he was going to devote his life to helping other people. And so he went to school and studied that, and he would help out everybody he could.
And he did.
Yeah, he did. And I still think of that man every day.
Jeez.
But so I walk into a grocery store here because I was in the retail business. I'm just
Mm-hmm.
around. Tell me, to me, this is strange. You knew about my brother's passing, right?
Yes.
Well, uh, when last 6 months of his life, I had got hired on at a company here in Houston.
Okay.
And when my brother told me that when I came back to Dallas to get my stuff, is when he told me he had 6 months to live.
Mm.
So I turned down the job and I explained to him what was happening. And they said that they would try and hold the position, but didn't happen,
Of
So
course.
to me, it was better to have the 6 months with my brother that I would never get back, where I could always find another job.
Mm-hmm.
So here it is, 2017. I was in that bad accident. I didn't want to go back to retail, but I was in a store here, and a lady sees me looking, and she just said, "Hey, do you do this kind of work?" And I'm like, "Yeah." I said, I've done it for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't even put in an application. I still wasn't working. And she goes, "Can I have your name and number?" And I give it to her. And like 2 days later, they call me in for an interview. And it was
Goodness.
the same company that I had applied for that I had got hired for.
Okay.
So the way I see it is I was meant to always be here, but just not at that time.
Yep.
So
Yep.
now I'm working for that company and I'm doing really good.
And it sounds like that's something that you have you've got nothing but a lot of joy about, because
Yeah.
I can hear it in your voice, like you seem very, very excited to be a part of that company, which is so awesome. And
Yeah.
nowadays, people don't really care to take pride, but I know you very personally, and it's you've always been somebody who took pride in everything
That I,
that you did, you
right.
know. And I'm no doubt that you're a huge asset for that company. And
Yes.
yeah, and I wish nothing but great success for you there. And I hope that things do continue to improve for you. The lady that hired you, do you still have contact with her?
No, I ask everyone that I meet whenever I go to a new place or a store,
Yeah.
tell them about the location and around the time, and it's like nobody remembers her.
Nuh-uh.
Yeah.
What?
So it makes me wonder, about her,
Right.
But like I said, I had already gotten hired on in 2007.
Mm-hmm.
But then when I told them about my brother and they didn't hold my position, I didn't tell them this time that, I had applied back in 2007 and got hired on. I
Okay.
went to the interview and they hired me. And it's just been one good thing after another.
Ooh, I love hearing that.
Yeah.
I love hearing that, especially after you haven't gone through, such a horrific accident. And were you ever, not to jump around, but were you ever able to? Was there any contact made with this man, the driver? Was there
Yeah,
anything
they
taken?
hit me.
Uh huh.
He was 26 years old out of California. He was down here to do a job, I guess putting up telephone poles.
Okay.
Um, I talked to the lawyer and asked him, what happened to him, because most people when they have an accident, when they work for a company, they get let go.
They do. They do.
He got a promotion.
I know you are lying.
No, now he is head of the company where they talk to the other drivers about being safe.
What?
Yep.
What?
He's
Okay.
safety supervisor for the company after he did that.
So what do you feel about that though?
I
I
feel
mean,
for all the pain and suffering that I went through, um, the amount of money that I received after paying my doctor's bills and everything wasn't nothing.
yeah.
But I definitely don't. I didn't want to be a part of someone else losing their job in this time.
Okay.
So if there would have been anything that I could have done to help him save his job, I would have done it.
Ooh.
Then when I heard he got a promotion out of it, I said, "Well, how life
You're,
works."
yeah, you're like, never mind, forget
Yeah,
it.
yeah. But I did want to meet him.
Uh-huh.
Um, I asked if he wanted, to meet me, and he said no.
Oh,
I don't know if
wow.
he felt bad because
Okay.
in the police report he said he was looking down. So by the time he looked up to see what was going on, he had already ran into me.
Uh,
So didn't put on his brakes, admitted to looking down at his GPS and not paying attention to the road.
mm.
But
That's something that I can't understand. And it's like, if you're in an accident and you are the person that's at fault, then why not? I mean, okay, sure, great. You admitted that you were the reason for the accident,
mhm,
right? But it's just like, where is the remorse? And also, it he is not in any way obligated to have met you, but I feel like that any person with a heart, that's something that they should have done.
right. So the company was insured for $5 million.
Mm-mm-mm. Mm-mm-mm.
I nowhere even close.
Mhm. God. So
And
nowhere close to the settlement. Don't want to meet you. Promotion.
yeah,
Yeah, it's adding up.
but I go to work for this company.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still hurting, but I never once told them that I was in an accident because I didn't want them not to hire me.
Sure.
And but I never said, "Hey, I'm hurt. I need to go see the doctor," or anything like that, and try and blame the company. I took care of everything on my own.
Man.
And people don't realize. Oh, here's another thing.
Mm-hmm.
That whole time, um, back in 2000, right, right when COVID started.
Okay.
What was it? 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago,
Well, yeah, almost three. I think it was 29. Yeah, 2019, I believe.
2019.
Mm-hmm.
And this is something you didn't know. I had my right lung removed.
Wait a minute.
Yes, so I only have my left lung.
Okay. Do you care to share why you had that happen? I mean,
when
you
I
don't have to. You don't. But
when
wow.
I was 15, this is crazy.
Okay.
In your lungs, you have no sorts of acid or anything that will degrade anything that goes into your lungs
Mm-hmm.
because it's the soft tissue.
Okay.
So when I was 15, my neighbor from across the street, and I still remember this, uh, he had a piece of ryegrass. If you know what ryegrass, it has a bunch of little points
Okay.
at the tip of it. So people would cut that off and put it in the palm of their hands, move their hands back and forth, and it looked like a caterpillar crawling up your hand. Well, he grabbed that and he goes, "I bet you can't put this on your tongue and say your name." And when I did, it shot down my throat, but instead of it going to my intestines and went into my lung.
Mm.
So, and you probably didn't know this, even though we were around each other. But every
Mm-hmm.
time I try and run, I would cough up blood. And so I'd go to the doctor. They thought I had TB,
Okay.
but the test always came back negative.
Wow.
So right before COVID started, I go to see a heart doctor,
Mm-hmm.
and just for routine, because I'm getting older.
Yeah.
So doctor puts me through a stress test, says everything's fine, but let's take a picture of your heart. I said, okay. As they do this, put me in the tube to take the picture.
Mm-hmm.
She goes, "Hey, there's something in your right lung." And I'm like, okay. She goes, "You need to go see a pulmonary specialist right away." So I leave her office. She sends me to a pulmonary specialist and she sends me with the x-rays.
Mm-hmm.
As soon as he sees them, he goes, "I need you to meet me at the hospital in 30 minutes.
Mm-mm.
I go there and they put me under, and he goes in through my mouth and into my lung, and he said the nodule I had in my lung was so big he couldn't pull it out. So so that piece of grass, my body was trying to fight it, so it started growing tissue around it. The tissue grew so big it started blocking my airway.
Oh.
Um, so he sits down with 8 other doctors, and they said, "Hey, there's no other way but to remove your lung." So he goes, "We're going to have to split you open like a heart patient." He goes, "You'll probably be out of work for over a year." And I said, "You ain't doing that to me." He goes, "Yeah, we need to do that." And I said, "No, sir, not me." And he goes, "Well, you could be asleep and drown in your blood while you're asleep." I said,
Oh.
"Okay, but you ain't splitting me open." And
Oh.
so I went and got a second opinion. This was an older man.
Okay.
So I go to a younger pulmonary specialist, and he goes, "No, no, no." He goes, "We can take you to the medical center here in Houston, and we'll do robotic surgery, and we'll put you on your side. We'll make like 6 little cuts on your side, and we'll have to break one of your ribs, but we'll go in and do it that way." And I'm like, "Well, that sounds a lot better than split me open."
I mean, and talk about had you not even considered getting a second opinion. I mean, those guys, they probably would have gone in there and just
Yep,
completely created a more of a mess than what you had going on.
exactly. And then it was during the middle of COVID. So
Oh God.
instead of being in the hospital for weeks where they're watching me, they said I'd be better off at home.
Oh, okay, sure. Sure. Yeah.
For
No.
I was supposed to have been back to work within 3 months after the surgery.
Mm-hmm.
Well, during the second month of after I had the surgery, it got infected. So they had to redo the surgery, go back in, and the little piece of lung that they had left at the top, they had
Uh-huh.
like a lung scrape and clean all that up. So it was like they redid that surgery again.
Oh God, Rolando.
But because I used to run when I was younger, my
Yeah.
left is strong as most people's both lungs.
Oh.
So I'm good.
Okay. The positivity. I
Yeah.
mean,
I mean, uh,
jeez.
I had a person tell me, man, you got all this bad luck. And I'm like, yeah, but I don't let it get me down.
Yep. There you go.
You
There
got to
you go.
moving forward. I said, whether it's good or bad, you got to know how to deal with it and be able to continue your life.
Yep. Yep. And you said it right there. And I wish that anybody that you were able to come in contact with, because I know without a doubt, after having met you, and have been friends for as long as we have been, I know that your level of positivity just really doesn't seem real, right? So it's like
Right.
you ask you ask yourself, wow, like, is this guy, like, is he all right? Like, is he like
Yeah.
in some sort of like illusion about life? But no, like that is really who you are, and
Yeah.
just positive about everything. And I wish that some people could just take little bits of your positivity, because I think we as a society would be so much better for it, and for sure a lot more productive, right? Because things happen. They do.
I'll tell you another thing.
Mm-hmm.
You remember my brother, right?
Yes.
Well, every morning we text each other. And
Mm-hmm.
every morning when I asked him how he was doing, he would say, well, this hurts, this is going on or whatever. I'm like, brother, why are you doing that?
Mm.
Like, what do you mean? I said, you need to start off positive, not negative.
Yep.
Start your morning off positive. So he asked me, why do you tell me you're awesome and you're super blessed? Because I am.
Yeah. Because you are.
And uh, I said, no matter what I'm in, there's people in worse places than me. And and I don't want to fall backwards. I want to continue growing strong and be the best I can be.
Mm-hmm.
But starting off negative is never going to get you there.
Nope.
So now um, we say little sayings to each other in the morning, and this
Mm-hmm.
is one of my favorites. I said, "How you doing, brother? This glorious morning." He goes, "Brother," uh, he goes, "We don't see each other as often." He goes, "But I'm soaring like an eagle, looking down at all the turkeys." I said, "Well, brother, all you got to do is look up, and you'll see me looking down at you." And he started laughing. He tries to outdo me every day, but I always come back with something to outdo.
Yeah. Yeah.
But your life, when you start out positive, first thing in the morning, continues to go positive.
Yeah.
Is
Yeah.
is what I think.
I think you're right. I've got no reason to argue with you about that at all. You know, but I want to get back to this lung story. So you have this, I mean, very complicated surgery. You get an infection, you go back, they redo that same surgery, you recover. Saying was you go through the second surgery because of the infection. And I guess my question is, like, what was it, how did you know, like, what were your symptoms of like an infection for that?
When they went to clean the wounds,
Yeah.
um, they did X-rays and said, "Oops, it's infected."
But you had no idea.
No, I would
Oh.
almost every other day or every few days, and they would ask me if I had any drainage or anything, and I said no.
Yeah.
But I started like a fever,
Okay.
and the fever sort of tipped them off that there was an infection somewhere. So then they started taking X-rays and stuff. They said no, it's infected. They were going to have to open every wound that they did,
Oh,
go back in and clean it out. Instead of being out 3 months, I was out for 6 months.
Jeez. Oh man.
Yep. So
Wow.
these younger guys at work, they think I'm in my late 30s, early 40s.
Mm.
And I'm like, man, I'm 57 years old. And I have one lung and I outwork you. What's wrong there?
Oh, you know what's wrong. You know. This day and age.
Yeah.
I so impressive. Wow.
Yeah. You
Wow.
know, it's awesome to hear your voice.
It's awesome to hear your voice too, Rolando. I'm really happy that you agreed to do this, and I know
There's
you've got stories for years.
there's something I did want to say to you.
Oh, what is it?
I love some seafood.
And that's the thing about us. Like we could just joke, like
Yeah.
I was telling you that yesterday. Like it's just not been any time missed at all. I didn't know that you'd gone through that lung ordeal. But I'm happy that it didn't take you
It's
out of here.
time.
Yeah, yeah,
If the accident didn't take me out, the lung thing didn't take me out, it's not my time.
yeah. It's not. It is not. I mean, and it just seemed like well, not seemed, but it was just one after the other for you, and not just a little like a flat tire. Like these are like major events,
Yeah.
major, major, major events. I just, wow. I don't, I'm not really sure how to feel about it, but I'm gonna go with your positivity
Yeah.
and those vibes, and just really, really appreciate that. Did you ever have an opportunity to get like back to that chiropractor, like his family, or like is his practice still open?
No, his wife ended up moving back to the Middle East.
Oh,
And he had a
wow.
partner, but his partner, from my understanding, gave
Hmm.
up his part too and gave it to his family.
Oh,
Oh,
wow.
to help out.
Yeah, because I mean, they definitely need that.
Right.
And I can't help but think that you going to that specific doctor, right? And then you
Right.
telling him, "Hey, look, I can't no longer do this." And him having the heart because he cared about you, obviously,
Yeah.
and cared about, his profession. And he says, "No, I'm gonna do this, right? Out of the goodness of my own heart." So the fact that he did that in such a young age, right? You just know that it's not happenstance that you encounter people like that.
Right.
You know.
I've been very lucky that God's put a lot of good people in my life.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and I definitely think the people around you is what make you.
I agree. I really do agree. Especially, and especially if they're positive people. Like nobody wants to be around any type of negativity.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like the minute like I encounter that, if I should, I'm moving on because
Yep.
I can't handle it. Mm-mm. Nope. The one question that I do have I have two questions actually, but
Okay.
the one question pertaining to your stories or your blind impact here, what do you think about any of the lung surgery and or the wreck? What would you change about either one of those?
Nothing.
Okay.
You know why?
Why?
It was meant to be.
Mm,
If it wouldn't have been for either one, my life wouldn't be where it's at right now.
wow. Look at this positivity.
Yeah.
That is
I'm I'm just so blessed at where I am in my life.
wow, Rolando. That's
And
wow.
let me ask you this: would you have thought we still would have been friends?
You know what? I I don't I don't know. I don't know. I don't know that I've ever considered you not being a part of my life,
Right.
right? But I don't think as we were becoming friends, I don't think I looked at it like, oh well, we're not gonna be friends in 5 years. I just it was just something that I've never I think
Stop.
given yeah, I've never given too much thought to. What
Yeah.
about you?
Well, I just think about when we first met, and I said, "Well, friends," and you said, we'll see."
You you told me I do not remember saying that. It sounds like me. It
Yeah,
definitely sounds like me.
because just
But
I think you thought I was white,
I did.
and
I did.
and you're like, see how's this gonna work out,
I
or should I
definitely.
Asian,
What's that?
or should I have said Caucasian?
Oh no, you say whatever you feel like you want to say. No, no problems here. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's so funny though. Like I definitely remember the early days, and I've always found you so hilarious and a really amazing storyteller. I think that's something that you have a great talent for, and
yeah.
I was like, oh, so then when you text me, I was like, oh, I have to see if I can get him on. I was just like, oh yeah, yep, yep. What a good time.
Yeah.
Um, so Rolando, so before we close out here, is there anything that you would like for the audience to know? Anything else you may want to add?
No, it's always been. I'm glad you're in my life
Oh wow, thank you. I am too.
because we were meant to be in each other's lives.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, even though I'm
Definitely
far
agree.
away.
Yeah, and that's okay. I mean, that's why we have phones. And
Yeah,
you know what would be really awesome is like if people got back to letter writing.
yeah.
Yeah,
But I
yeah.
was surprised that I was talking to a kid and I said, "Can you write your name in cursive?" They're like, "What's that?"
Not a surprise.
In cursive no more.
No, it's sad.
Yeah, they print now. I'm like, "Write it in cursive." And they're like, "What's that?" I'm like, "Why couldn't we have had it so easy?"
Yeah, you know what? I appreciate not having had it easy. I'll tell you
Yeah,
that.
exactly, because it
Yep.
made us better.
Yeah, it did. It made you better. I mean, just the level of intelligence. Now, there's stuff that these kids are learning nowadays that we have no idea about. But the stuff that we did learn, while in school is something that would not change.
Me either.
No, would not change it, because it also built character, right?
Yes.
Yeah, it did. Definitely built character. Rolando, I appreciate you once again for coming on. I can't tell you how happy it's made me that you agreed to come on and just talking to you again. And I'm glad you were able to share your story with us here.
Uh-huh.
And so much. Hey guys, this has been the Blind Impact. Our guest today is Rolando, and we're gonna we're gonna see you guys soon. And I don't know what I'm saying, so I'm probably gonna edit that part, that part, that part out. But Orlando again. So, and I'll be calling you. Like
Oh,
we'll stay in contact for sure.
that sounds awesome.
Yeah, for sure. All right, buddy.
All right. Well, you
Okay,
take,
thank you. I will. You too, Orlando.
all right. Tell your family
Okay.
hello and hoping that they're all okay.
Oh, I will. I will do that. I will do that. Hopefully we can. Hopefully we'll be able to meet up soon enough, just for
Yeah.
some random event. Maybe some ghost hunting tour, which is a story that you will have to come back on and talk about.
Yeah. Because that was pretty freaky.
That was it was, and we were the ones that witnessed it. So,
Yeah.
Rolando, I'll be talking to you soon.
All right. Thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you, Rolando. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you all so much for listening to this episode of The Blind Impact. If you like the show, please rate, subscribe, review, follow us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Amazon Music. If you have a story you'd like to tell, please email me at theblindImpact@gmail.com. Or if you have a story you'd like to have read here by me, please include those details in the email or the voice message. Thank y'all, and remember, it's not always tragic.